I just closed them last week, $7,000 a month. I'm on pace this year. It'll definitely be upper six figures. I'm already at six figures. I was part of several networks when AI really launched and got big. Your network was the one I connected with the most.
Today you'll be meeting Breyon, who's taken his AI agency to over six figures in under 6 months. Now, he's a former student of the network systems and is now our head sales coach inside of the network. So luckily, I had the opportunity to sit down with him and speak to him about everything AI agency, what's working for him, what's working for others. So get ready to tuck into this interview I had with him and unlock further AI agency datasets for yourself. Here I am, joined by the legend, Breyon Bradford, a well-known face in the network, absolute master at all things agency. Mate, thank you so much for jumping on this episode today. Super excited to get into it with you and see what you got going on, man.
Oh, man. I'm happy to be here, man.
Yeah, super keen to just dive into it with you today and just find out what has been the easiest thing for you when it comes to selling AI. We'll dive into that, but I also want to understand what it is you actually currently did before the AI stuff too. What was you working on? Because I know you had an agency, right?
That's correct. During when I got in, I had an SEO agency, and I still do have that agency. It went through a few little renditions to what it is now, but I think I've had it for around 10 years, not coming up on 10 years.
Okay, damn, that's a long time.
And it's really going well. So
it's like a 10-year agency. I think a lot of people assume that when they see the get rich quick stuff online, it's like build an agency is the easiest business model. And for me, that's kind of the complete opposite. I feel like building an agency is so much about networking and speaking to people and actually spending the time to build these relationships. You must have some insane insights when it comes to like building your agency for 10 years. So could you go into detail in terms of like what those first few years look like and how you even got into that space?
Sure. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It was kind of like you have to learn business principles, which is what I'm teaching in your classes. It's one of those factors that people don't truly think about.
Mm-hmm.
There's a saying, where an entrepreneur is by the way they talk and what their focus is on. So you have the first level, which is product. And it's a first time, entrepreneur. The second level is going to be distribution. The third level is going to be product chain. And the fourth level is going to be ecosystem. And a lot of these guys that get in business, it's all about the product. When I've learned that you actually have to create a system that runs the business. And if you don't do that, you will be more of a business owner instead of an entrepreneur. So it's kind of like what the book E-Myth by Michael Gerber was talking about. You'll be working in the business more than you'll be working on the business. You really have to have a different mindset as well. I have colleagues and friends who've come from the corporate world into entrepreneurship, and they literally had to go through a total mind shift. Some of them it's taken years to do. But you have to have it. You think differently, man. Entrepreneurship is like, jumping and figuring out the parachute on the way down, but you have to jump. You have to jump to get through the fire. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think I just get a product, I put it online, and here we go. I make, thousands and thousands of dollars per month. And on occasion it does happen, but we call that an anomaly, a singularity, an irregularity. It's not normal. No. So you really have to lock in solid business principles in order to get a firm foundation and an operation that works and lasts. That's the big thing, and lasts, because, as well as I do, a lot of people get in this game and they're gone before a year, and then they're gone before 5 years. It's hard to get them to last.
They realize it's tough. They realize there's hard times ahead, and it's like, oh no, let's go find the easier model. So on that, I mean, you've kind of stepped into the AI space specifically with your agency, and seemingly absolutely, you've been killing it, right? You've been landing clients left and right. Some of the messages you sent me, I'm like, this guy is literally on fire. So I know people are watching this video and they're gonna be thinking, all right, cool, but how much are you making? And obviously, I don't want to put you on the spot and go through like actual numbers and stuff like that, because that's just not fair. But if can you share any details around like how you charge, or what kind of numbers you have done through the agency, or the types of clients you're working with, just to give people watching this a better understanding of exactly where you're at in your journey?
Yeah, sure. So what I did is what I teach the students. The first few people I brought on, they were my beta tests, my case studies. So I brought them on for free. I was like, hey, I'm going to give you this technology for a certain amount of time. I want you to get a feel of what it is, and if you like it, then let's talk about more long-term, contractor situation. We're running voice AI. So on the phone, people were spending 40% less time. And I mean, it really started rolling. And so I'm on pace this year. It'll definitely be upper six figures. I'm already at six figures.
Nice. There you go. Killing it.
Yeah. When you're in this is something I teach as well in the classes. It's like, it can't be about the money. You
No.
can't chase the money, because it just doesn't work out like that. It really doesn't.
Mm.
If you take the time to build something that truly helps people, like it really works and it helps people, you will not have to worry about the money.
Mhm.
They will refer you. It's like the energy is out there in the universe. All types of good things will happen, and you have to be driven that way in sales too, because I teach the students, it's not, they had this concept of they have to close in one meeting.
Yeah.
And so that's something I had to, get through. It's like, you can, but are you trying to do everything in one conversation with someone? You can tell the energy that goes in it. You can tell how you're trying to push an agenda instead of just being natural.
Mhm.
And so I had a client come to me. It was December. They came in December, and I just closed them last week, because here's what people have to understand. If you're doing B2C, that's one thing. Timelines can be much faster. But even if you're talking to a decision maker when it comes to B2B, it doesn't necessarily mean their decision cycle within that company is going to be instant. They may have to go back and talk to some people and go over some things and do some research. You got to think, companies are going to do their due diligence. Why do you think they're going to come to you and just, suddenly that's just it? It will happen, especially if you know enough knowledge and know how to help them. But you have to respect that cycle within another business operation, because you have to look at your own operation and go, hey, sometimes it takes me longer to make decisions.
Yeah.
So it can't be about that, oh, I got to get the sale, right then. It's, for me, it's not even about that. I'm
No.
having a real conversation with a business. I'm learning what they do. I'm understanding what they do. We're having this conversation. And when they're ready to make that move, I'm ready to help,
Yeah.
so it's that kind of thing. But look at that client. That was, December when we first started. I just closed them last week, $7,000 a month.
It's worth the wait. But like,
Yeah, it's worth
that
the
is
wait.
exactly it. People are missing this. There's this whole education step that has to happen as well. A lot of these clients that you speak to, they know about AI. They've never even considered using AI, or at least they don't know
Right.
how. So it's not a case of you going to them and being like, "Oh, this is what we can do," and they make a decision like that. They're like, "Yeah, we'll throw 5, 10K at this." It's not. I wish it
Mhm.
was as simple as that. And some industries it will be, but for AI, there's a huge education step that we have to go through with our clients, and not only for our clients, but also for the benefit of us. If we just bring in every single client and we promise them the world, and then all of a sudden we realize, oh shit, we didn't understand their tech stack. Oh, we don't actually fully understand their
Exactly.
business. We don't really understand how we can help them. You start to run into these problems where people churn, you get a bad name, people start to, ask for refunds and stuff like that. And I'd much rather play the slow game, play it right, and build like partnerships that I know we've like crushed and really made happen.
Mhm.
And yeah,
Yeah, you have to watch that churn rate. So literally, when I looked at my books, none of my clients have dropped.
That's because you're a good salesman, mate. You're such a sweet
Not a
talker.
single
You're
client has
such a smooth
dropped.
talker. Yeah. But
Well, I mean, it's helping their business. I really
of course,
took the time to find out what they need.
of course, of course.
And there is so much to this aspect of it, which is why I'm gonna do another Liam shameless plug here. So I was part of several networks when AI really launched and got big. Your network was the one I connected with the most.
Now, if you are looking to build your agency or scale your agency with the systems that have taken our agency, Breyons Agency, and our students' agencies to well over $20, $30, $40, $50,000 per month, then click the link in the description. See if our program is a good fit for you. But either way, enjoy the rest of this interview.
And it was because you were being real practical. You were just, hey, I'm doing this. This is what's working. Here you go. Hey, I'm going to create this incubator where all you guys can come together. We can discuss this and really just grow together.
Mm.
You're the only one I felt that was really like that. Others were, it was almost like it was rushed. And it was almost like they were throwing so much information at you that you were trying to get your bearing. And here's the reason I know. You know how you post your wins. So your network was not the only one I was posting wins in.
Yeah.
I was posting wins in other networks. And the way people were coming at me and responding in the DMs, they're like, how are you doing this? What are you doing here? And I was just openly sharing. I didn't think it was a big deal because I did have the business sense to know that you may be doing something similar to me, but this is so brand new. There are so many businesses out there that we're not running into a competition issue. We're just not. So I was giving people everything. I'm talking to them in the DMs. And the number one thing a lot of them were saying was, yeah, they're giving this information, but I don't really have a roadmap. Like, I don't understand this stuff. I don't get what they're trying to push to me. Like, I'm lost. Man, you wouldn't believe how many DMs I got. Like, I'm lost. I'm lost. And so that's when I was actually going, hey, you need to check out Liam Evans now. So I'm literally pushing people over there. Then some were DMing me like, hey, I just signed up for Liam. And I was doing that because it was just like, yeah, this. And so it dwindled down. And now yours is the only one I'm like in.
You made such an entrance, I feel like, because you were posting a lot of community, and like the fact that you had such a strong business background behind you as well, and especially in the agency space, right? You were just sharing so much knowledge for free. So I was just like, yeah, you really stood out. And then as soon as I heard you on, I think we had a masterclass and you was there speaking, and I was like, holy shit, this guy can articulate a sentence. He knows how to talk. Like, then you went into your sales background and that kind of thing. But I think like the key thing is, and this is where we both are very similar, we're looking at this as not as I need to know how to deliver all these AI solutions. The reality is it boils down to, how do I package up something that's going to be valuable to someone else? Who is that then valuable for? And how can I sell it to them? How can I drive traffic to this offer? And how can I get in front of the right people? And that perfectly segues into another thing that I really wanted to talk to you about is the sales side of things, right? Because I know that your take on sales isn't necessarily the hard, cold, sign up quick, the scarcity, we're going to sell out fast, and there's going to be no more spots. You're very much, well, you've got a magic way about you, and I'll let you kind of run through it and talk about it. But, simplifying it in a way where it doesn't have to be confusing is kind of your speciality from what I've seen in the masterclasses that you run inside of the network so far. You need to have that group of people, and you need to be able to listen to someone like yourself and get that alternative sort of viewpoint on what it is you're trying to build, or at least be surrounded by people that are heading in the same direction. And what's great, and I'm sure you can attest to this, is like the amount of people that are actually closing clients, and it's their first ever business. They're there in a safe space where if they do fall over and they hit their head, we're there to catch them. And I feel like that's kind of what is beautiful thing about the internet and the network, and being able to be inside of these different groups, whether it's mine or someone else's, just being able to have people around you whilst you're building something, knowing that you're in a safe place where you can ask questions and you can make mistakes, and you've got a community around you to support you. I think is killer. I think like that's something that you really resonated with, right? Like you never necessarily had that when you was first starting
I
out.
didn't. It was the same way with you. I had to bump my head and find out all these things through, like I said earlier, trial by fire. It was just like,
Yeah.
Here you go. You're dropped in and you just got to survive and get there. But man, you talking about an amazing feeling to be in that class and someone goes, I took what you said and I closed the client. You're like, you know, it's like, and you could see them, dude, they're glowing. They're
Yeah.
just like, oh my gosh, you know, and it's, man, that is rewarding. And then next thing you know, they're closing more. They're closing more. Now they have an established business going. And it's just like, wow,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
it.
their life has changed because of this. You know, that's why I love the opportunity of it. One thing I had to learn over the years was I had to look at mindset and go, if you're not sharing those things, you have a scarcity mindset.
Worried about people stealing your ideas, jumping on
Right,
a trend and, you know, saturating the
right,
market. It's just not possible. There's so many different avenues you can go into when it comes to the AI solution stuff. And I think, like, you know, you even you then you openly shared the niche. You're not worried about it because you know it's hard to
right.
get into. You know it's hard to perfect. It's not easy.
And man, it took a lot of research and to be where I am now in that niche, you
Yeah.
know, I know what it takes to do it.
So look, on that note, let's rewind. Let's go back. I don't know. Let's go back 10 years when you're first getting started. You've got a message to tell younger Breyon. What is it you're going to tell him? What are the key learnings you've learned now that will change his trajectory and how everything has gone?
I would tell my younger self the mindset game is way more important than you think. And I would start there.
Okay.
I really would. I would start at understanding business, understanding how it functions, understanding the language of it, understanding the principles, the desires of business. What truly is it?
Mhm.
Like, instead of just trying to find something and you're working at it, like, really understand the concepts. Because when you do that, it opens the knowledge bay up for so many other things. Your sales will be more natural. You'll understand to create a system. You know, it's that part. I didn't do that at first. It's like I jumped in and was just trying to figure out things and I created product and everything was based on my product and I was trying to push people and I was lowering the prices and I was doing this and I was trying to add to it. It was so minutely focused, you know, where if I had it all to do over, going the route that I know now, which is actually studying the way business operates, I would have got there a lot faster.
Mm.
You know, I really would have. And to leverage that knowledge, that which is why even the way I'm doing things now is I went in and modernized business process management. See, it's still about business. Like that's where I went to instead of doing something else. I was like, man, business process management is like it's really a smart concept.
Mm.
It really is, if you understand it. And it was just the way they do it now was antiquated. But
Sure.
when I just brought AI to it, and I was like, hey, man, the questions I developed, how to talk to the business owners, the executives, really helped me look inside their business and look inside their business fast.
Yeah.
Like the data I can get from it and then understand, and then start future casting, sitting down with them and going, okay, 3 months this, let's look at 6 months out. Okay, you know, 2 quarters from now, let's look at this. Okay, then we're going to implement this. It's like you're sitting there and you're a part of their business and you're looking out way ahead in the future. And that's the language of an executive.
Mm.
But the cool thing about it is I understand it. So that's what I'm trying to give to the students. It's like you're not just dropping off your product. Like if you do that, you are easily replaced.
Yeah.
But if you go in and you are tangibly connecting with a lot of touch points in the business, and you are literally one of the individuals that's forging the way this business operates and moves forward, then it is least likely that they're getting rid of you,
100%.
because you're such an integral part of their operations and their concepts. And
Agreed.
so, but you can only do that if you're working on the business.
Mhm.
There's no way I can sit up here and actually, you know, putting code on the websites every day and all that, and then jumping off and then trying to go. That's not going to work.
No.
So what I told, the students was, hey, I understand each of you are in different places. Some of you guys want to be devs, like you want to touch the code, you want to be able to do the
Touch the
prompt
code.
engineering and things like that. That's okay. Plan it out. How long do you want to do that? And go for it. Make your money, play with the code, have fun, understand it. Some of you may stay there. Some of you may go, hey, I just love the sales part of it. Like, I love bringing people on. It's like what I was telling them to do was basically identify who they are and what their passion is.
Mhm.
Because when you do that, it'll make room for you, but don't feel like you have to be pressured into being this real business owner, because it's not for everyone.
No, agreed.
So it's like, what do you want to do? What do you have from, like, I had my phases. My first phase was messing with the no code, then I started doing Python scripting. And then, I was just then I was like, wait a minute, does this, I have to take a step back, and everyone in class knows I call it the 30,000 foot view.
Yeah.
I had to take the 30,000 foot go, is this in alignment with where I'm going? And I was like, no, okay, let me alter this a little bit. Let me start getting more on the business. And so you just have to identify those things in what you want to do.
That's a skill though, because like
No.
a lot of people can't separate themselves from that and the idea of making money, right? Because when you have zero and
Right.
you're at nothing, it's like all I need is to make money. I just need to make money. Whatever it is, make money, make money, make money. In reality is
Hmm.
there's it is that long game. It's that like zooming out. It's does this align with where I need to be in 6 months, 12 months,
Right.
24 months time? So I think it's perfect. But I guess like you're saying, it's a skill, right? You learn that over time, or you learn it
Hmm.
from someone else telling you about it and engraving it into your mind, so you start to change that mindset. And that goes back to your
Right.
point of being mindset is the most important thing when you're first getting started, right?
It is.
Yeah,
It is. I mean, it is absolutely crucial. That's why I was like, hey, I need to change my class up some.
yeah, yeah,
I need to start introducing these concepts in, because they've never heard of it.
yeah. And
And I need to have them truly examine themselves and go, what am I doing?
yeah,
Where am I going? What do I want to be in 5 years? I asked them that. I was like, where do you want to be within this business model in 5 years? And some of them were like, oh, I think I know where I want to be. And some of them was like, I never even thought about it.
yeah.
So you have to be able to understand yourself and your own path,
Hmm.
because the things you do now directly affect where you're going to be in 5 years. It's either delaying you from getting to that mark, or it's helping you get toward that mark.
Hmm.
So, you really have to understand that.
Like obviously you've spoken to hundreds of people now inside of the network. What would you say the common problems a lot of these people have? Obviously, aside from the fact that they're not looking at it as a business, they're looking at it as a side hustle almost where they can make some quick cash. What's been the core fundamental issues that a lot of these guys are facing? Is it, outreach? Have you seen a lot of people stressing about what their website looks like, what to offer, the service delivery as a whole? What would you say is like the number one or one, two, or three?
There's been a number of things. So one of them is chasing the shiny object.
Mhm.
The newest, greatest thing comes down. They've been spending months learning one thing. They drop it for the new shiny object. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? So, and that's when, of course, they're chasing product, which means they're at that first level. And it's this continual, they're sitting up here having arguments over voice flow or bot press.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like, who cares? It's just a component. Like, it doesn't matter, and then it's, oh, let me do this, let me do this. They never get settled.
Yeah.
It's just this jump all over the place. I would say, honestly, even bigger than that is the sales. It's actually, that whole sector of it, creating their product, getting their infrastructure right, then going out and actually having a conversation with someone and being able to close. This is kind of the rubber meets the road portion of it. Like business mindset and sales. Like that part, you can know all the code you want to, but you got to get a client.
Yeah.
Like you gotta.
Step number
So
one, yeah.
this part of it, man, it's where everyone's like,
Yeah.
so it's, you'll hear them excited. They'll go, oh, I'm learning this and I got my email engine running and, all this. And then they're like, oh my gosh, and then they're DMing me like, I need help with this, I need help. Because if we're being honest, it's the hardest part for people because this just isn't what they do. And when I realized that, how some of the people were introverts or how some people had specialized areas that they were going to be extremely good at, but it wasn't going to be the business owner type. That's when I brought in the concepts in the classroom of strategic partnerships. Hey, Joe, you're going to be a killer dev. Hey, Mike, you love sales. You and Joe need to connect. Because you're not going to that side and he's not coming to your side. You're like, it just doesn't work, but so find these strategic partnerships and you guys have to get out of, I have to have all the money, because just like we talked about before, that's a scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
No, man, one of the most powerful things in business is partnerships, getting with people whose strengths are your weaknesses. And it doesn't even have to be a weakness. It can just be an area that you choose not to focus on. Let me get with someone who focuses on that area. And now we're all going to get together and kill this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You
Exactly.
know, that's really important. So when I talked to him about that, next thing I know, I saw in groups, people were kind of connecting and I'm going, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. It doesn't have to be all about you. You can get with someone and, do well. I even told people, hey, run your business, get Liam, get me, get other people. We'll do your fulfillment
Mm-hmm.
and you white label it.
Exactly.
Like, because maybe you're on the end where you love, there's one guy in the group, I won't mention his name, but he loves talking to business owners. Like, that's his jam. He wants to sit down and discuss the intricacies and all these different things. But he's like, I don't want to touch any code. I don't know how to do fulfillment. I don't even want to learn how to do it. It's like, present an opportunity for that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Give him the information that he needs that he can be successful. Okay, he doesn't want to do fulfillment. Find a fulfillment partner.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
all you got to do.
It's our biggest focus right now. Like, how can we delegate out to smart people? Smart people that you can bring onto the team is also one of the biggest challenges you will ever face. So the opportunity that you get, whether you meet them through a Discord community or whether you know them in person, partner up with them. Don't be afraid. Exactly what you said. Share the pie. I'd much rather have 50% of something that's actually making money rather than 100% of something that's making zero. So
like making zero.
yeah,
Exactly.
and at the same time, if you're not splitting it and you're not sharing it, or you're not bringing in team members to do it, it's you doing all the work. Meaning you are
Right.
just an employee of, you're a slave to your own business because you refuse to spend any money hiring in smart teams. So yeah, it's our biggest focus right now, and it's not just a focus; it's our biggest challenge right now. I think finding the smart people and being able to lock them down and find people that are experts at different skill sets. And
you don't have to overextend yourself.
yes,
Man, so many business owners do that. They overextend themselves in areas where if they just get assistance in that area, it's just going to be so much better. Don't be afraid to share the money. Share the profits. It's okay. But getting that other person in to handle that portion of the business, man, it's like a weight off your shoulders.
so good.
I had someone the other day, I was looking at simple input into knowledge base, the knowledge bases that we're doing, because I'm bringing on these clients and I have, the voice knowledge bases that need information. the conversational AI on the website that needs it. We have certain other products that need it. And it's just like, I need to get, a person to do that.
Mm.
And so I found a person and we're going through it and I go, hey, this is it. And I walked him through the process live, on a Zoom. And he's just chilling, wants to, kind of do something. I showed him this. He's like, this is all I gotta do, go out and research and grab. Yeah, I'm like, yeah. So he does it. And I'm like, he comes back and goes, hey, I got an idea. We could do this, 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 this. And I'm like, like, wow, this feels good to have someone like just totally take it over. And I'm like, hey, you design all the SOPs, whatever you want to do, how you want to do this. He's like, I got two people that I'm looking at to help me on this. I'm like, bro, you can hire, like, just let me know what you need.
Yeah.
It's to have that being done for you.
It's such.
It's just like you don't even have to, because I have devs, I have partners who do certain things when it comes to onboarding the medical and everything, because it's real particular the way you have to do it. And the stuff we're offering for medical is like crazy. Like every doctor I have spoken to, literally, I'm being honest, not one doctor or clinic has not gotten it.
Mm-hmm.
Not a single one. When we're showing them all these things that we have. And it's like you're sitting there doing that and you have all these people to do these tasks, but sometimes you forget, hey, the little tasks too, like get someone to
Yeah.
do that. Cause you're kind of thinking, oh, I could do that myself. I can cover that. I mean, I got all this going on. And that's the way I was. And I was like, yeah, but you know what? I'm done with my beta testing. I found out it worked. So if I want to talk to a developer, I understand what to say to him now. I can even show him an example. Hey, this is what I did. Take this and run with it.
Mm-hmm.
After I did that, and I kind of found joy in it, but then I was like, okay, I know this is a small job or what people may deem as a small job, but it's still critically important in the operations. So let me get someone to do it.
100%.
Like, don't overextend yourself.
Mate, I honestly, I feel like me and you could talk for 4 hours. We need to, when you come to Dubai
Love
later
this
this
stuff,
year,
man.
but we'll have to jump on for a longer pod. But no, you got so many insights for everyone, and you've been just a crazy member inside of the network. You brought so much value to so many people. So, where can everyone find you? I know you're coming into the world of YouTube. You're going to start creating content.
What I'm going to do is give you my
It'll
links
be
and
down below.
everything, and you can, yeah,
Yeah.
they'll be below. You can put it in the description. And
Make sure you click the link down below. Go and subscribe to Breyon. Let's get him to his first 1,000 subscribers. But man, yeah, like really, really appreciate it. Have you got any final words for a young entrepreneur right now who's trying to build an AI agency or just a business in general? Have you got summarize it in under 60 seconds?
yeah,
What would you say to them?
the world has changed, and there are huge events throughout history that has reshaped mankind, and AI is one of them. You're talking about internet level changing force within life.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a great opportunity for you to get in because a lot of people don't get in on the front end of things. But this is still in its infancy. As fast as it's moving, you know, even though you have to look at this and go infancy stage, but the growth stage of it is immense. Like the way it's moving. You're talking about things that would have took 15 years, 10 years to implement will now be implemented in 5 and 3. So if you want the opportunity to do this, do your homework, get in it, get in a good program like the network. Get with people who are all going after this one goal.
Mm-hmm.
And you need a community. You need an ecosystem to be within to help you through this journey, but you can do it. Don't get in it just for the money, get in it because you really, truly want to help businesses. And to businesses out there, we're the people you need to connect with. We literally have the technology and innovation to help you move in a direction you want to move in at an exceptional rate of speed and efficiency we can literally optimize your entire operation. So those are the things that I want to say. Like, this world has really changed, man.
Right.
This is like,
You should be running for president. The way you speak is so good. I
uh,
can listen to it all
uh,
day. Honestly, you're good, mate. It's like it's perfect. You're
I'm just
really,
passionate and excited about this stuff, man. I love it.
yeah, I can
Love
tell.
working in this industry.
It's so good. And yeah, man, Breyon, I really appreciate it. Great final words. I got nothing else to add to that. I think you summarized it perfectly. And yeah,
Appreciate it.
go subscribe to Breyon, everyone. And if you're in the network, keep an eye out for his weekly classes. Make sure you're there. This guy, he is
Cool.
the real deal. Nice one, Breyon. I'll catch you very, very soon.
All right, man. Later.